There's more to imagine when you listen, so let your imagination soar with Audible. Audible has audio titles from every genre that will inspire you to imagine new worlds, possibilities, and ways of thinking. As an Audible member, you get to choose one title a month to keep from their entire catalog. Enjoy an exciting reawakening of a beloved classic with the Audible original David Copperfield by Charles Dickens, produced by Academy Award-winning director Sam Mendes, starring Ncuti Gatwa, Helena Bonham Carter, and Theo James. This adaptation breathes new life into a familiar tale. New members can try Audible free for 30 days. Visit audible.com/imagine or text imagine to 500-500. That's audible.com/imagine or text imagine to 500-500.
Okay, it's time to commit. 2024 is the year for prioritizing yourself. Begin your new smile journey with Byte, and you could start seeing results in just 2 to 3 weeks. Just order your at-home impression kit today for only $14.95 at Byte.com. Byte clear aligners are doctor-directed and delivered to your door. Treatment costs thousands less than braces. Plus, they offer financing options, accept eligible insurance, and you can pay with your HSA, FSA. Get 80% off your impression kit when you use code WONDERY at Byte.com. That's BYTE.com. Start your confidence journey today with Byte.
Folks, when I was with Beth, she insisted that I get something called birch beer.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard of this before. I have 2 kinds in front of me. I'm going to test them live. First, I have pure sugarcane Kutztown white birch beer. Okay. We're going to try this.
I'm assuming this is just like Pennsylvania root beer.
I'm guessing so too. Let's see here.
Okay.
Like, it's a clear soda, which is kind of weirding me out.
Mm-hmm.
It says to drink to your health. Okay. So,
hold on. Let me sing, the Crystal Pepsi theme song for you. Right now, it's your tomorrow.
Birch beer crystal.
Birch beer.
That's really good.
Everything.
Okay, so this is like root beer, but lighter. It's got different aromatics, but I like that. Okay. Now I have the
magic moment.
Pennsylvania Dutch birch beer.
Ooh, this is a dark one.
This is a darker birch beer.
The amber birch beer.
Yeah. Also caffeine free, old fashioned taste, old fashioned goodness. It does have red 40 in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I need to know how old fashioned it tastes.
Oh,
okay, let's see here.
How old
would you make it an old fashioned with this?
Oh, this one's a little more funky.
Oh Lord.
I like it. Okay, I do like this. It's a little more licoricey, but I like that. I don't know. So I like these things. Beth, you were so sure that I was not going to like this.
I was not sure if you were going to like it.
What's your personal favorite, Beth, of these 2?
So I prefer the dark birch beer. That is what I grew up with in kegs at Texas Hot Dogs, which I think I took you past a few times.
Oh, yes. You took me past the building Texas Hot Dogs.
Yes.
Which I have many questions about for next time.
But yes, that is, I am a dark birch beer sort of creature, although I do enjoy both varietals.
See, it's interesting that you say this because I am a clear birch beer creature.
Oh.
I think in part because my mother is from Connecticut, and that clear birch beer is a thing up there too. So Polar, maker of Orange Dry and seltzer and various other things, also makes very good clear birch beer that is difficult to acquire in states that are not like Connecticut or Massachusetts, but it does exist and it is good.
Okay.
So
are you is it much better than the Kutztown?
I don't know that I've had the Kutztown clear birch beer. I will have to go track that down. Also, Jordan, your pronunciation of that word made me cringe, and I just need the listeners to know that.
What did I say? Kutztown.
Kutztown, babe.
Kutztown? Okay. It's okay. I think I've said Kutztown before several times on this podcast.
So do you have a preference between those 2?
I think I prefer the clear.
Okay.
But I think that's just because it's closer to something that I recognize. I feel like the dark birch beer, I could, much like my love of kind of funky tasting things like my Amaros and everything, I feel like if I drink that enough, it would become the one that I prefer. Because I prefer a drink that's a little fighty.
Mm-hmm.
Next time, Beth, when we get together and I bring some cocktail stuff up, or we find it, I will be making you many, many bittery things
Oh, okay.
that are of that like syrupy red. We're gonna go through a bottle of Campari just for fun.
Sounds good.
It's good stuff. Folks, welcome everyone to the Sickos Committee podcast. This is our podcast for the evening of November. No.
November.
No.
Do you remember?
September
That's
22nd,
right.
2024. We are back. The band is back together. Beth and I were on the IR last week due to COVID, and I also had strep throat and an ear infection. Booyah.
How did you get that many diseases, Jordan? That's
Well-
so many diseases to have at the same time.
Well, me and Beth's friend group that I hung out with, we all got the COVID. I'm not
Yep.
sure where it came in at, but it was a big circle of COVID. That's fine. I think I got the strep from my kid who's been sick. And then the ear infection, I think, was just a lovely bonus because I came off the plane being like, my ear won't pop. That's annoying. And then I think it just developed into something else as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on day 7. I am now able to sit up and talk to you guys, which is a
Yay!
huge win because I was not able to do that Tuesday night, which is why I was not here. Beth and I were texting each other back and forth being like, I know this feels lame, but I can't sit up and talk to my friends for 2 hours. That feels like too much work right now. But we are here.
And happily so.
Yay!
As always, I'm Jordan, and with me tonight I have Beth, Pitt Girl, Commish, and Arthur on the ones and twos. Beth, how are you?
I'm sort of disjointed because I'm broadcasting from the Southern office, which is where I went to be ill. Like I'm broadcasting from my sick hole.
Mhm.
And so
Sick hole committee.
Yep. And there are no podcasts here. I'm on a different microphone. The room is different. My whole vibe is off. So I'll figure it out. I'm a professional.
Of course, yeah, you're a professional, so you have to adapt. Pitt Girl, how are you?
It's Sunday. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday indeed. Commish?
I'm good. It's Sunday. Just had a wild weekend. Kiddo started soccer again. We changed leagues, and
You're not
so I'm
coaching
no
anymore,
longer-
are you?
I am not coaching this time.
Aw.
It's on a Sunday, and I'm already criticizing the coach like from the sideline. I'm like, I would not be doing this. What type of drills are you running with these 7-year-olds? Like this is not the correct way to be using my son. And I had to resist like going up and saying something.
So
No, I wasn't even that close. Whatever. The 19-month-old girl was running all over the place. And it was very hard to even watch the other kiddo play.
I can't
It
even
was nuts.
imagine.
And it was like 95 outside. I'm like, no shade. It was hell. It was fun,
So-
though. Whatever.
what is the name of this team?
We're the Dolphins, believe it or not.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
Yeah. It matches the jersey that my kiddo wore to the backyard brawl, too. It's perfect.
Do we have merch for them yet?
No, we do not have merch. Apparently, this is something that I took a picture and sent it to like my sister and my mom, and my sister was like, "Hey, that's like I-9 or whatever, like soccer team," and she's like, "We have that here," and I'm like, "Oh, so this is like a nationwide thing." It feels like Camp Gladiator for like soccer because we're playing in an elementary school like field. On the
Oh, so
weekends.
you don't get the nice, like, even the old, like, the futsal courts anymore, or whatever you're playing
Well,
on?
I mean, like we had the YMCA, and we decided, like a friend wanted to have 2 kids play together in sport, and it defeated the whole purpose of this due to the coaches' rotations. So like they never even got to play together. Like one was on the field, the other one's not even on the field. It's like at the same time, they were never on the field at the same time for the first game. It was a mess, but other than that, everything was
What-
great.
What
Oh,
was
what?
Kiddo's
Yeah.
stat line?
It was a 1-1 tie.
Okay.
It was it. And apparently they keep score. And there's
Ooh.
playoffs for this.
Ooh.
So it was 1-1.
Does everyone make the playoffs? Does everyone make the playoffs?
Playoff? I don't know. So we got a draw. Very controversial draw. There was one kid sent off with a red card for kicking the ball away.
Oh, we have red cards too? Whoa.
Then another kid kicked the ball away and he didn't get a card. But they say that's the letter of the law somehow. And then another person delayed another restart and they didn't get a card on their team. So I don't know how that team keeps getting away with stuff like that.
Got some like Pac-12 refs over here.
It seems like these refs have been bought. Just one more thing is I'm glad I don't have to get a tattoo on my ass. There has been so much stuff revolving around bets and people's like butts.
Oh yeah, no, we are such a butt.
You gotta stop. Y'all gotta stop.
I don't know. Stop. I got one for this week. For this week. I'm gonna say, if Pitt loses a football game this week, I will twerk on the moon.
I thought you were gonna put a Permantes brothers up there, like the was it the BYU guy that said it? K-State guy who said it.
K-State guy. We'll get to this, but yeah, shout out to the BYU social media admin. I'll just leave it at that.
Oh yeah, no, we'll get to that. It was great. I'm going to salute first off to the White Sox social media admin. The White Sox lost their 120th game today. That ties them with the 62 Mets, I believe, the expansion Mets, for the most losses in a regular season in the post-1900 era. Because baseball, much like college football, has a lot of like, we played before 1900, but that was a different game. Interestingly enough, they've just stopped posting final scores at this point.
Mm-hmm. The Pirates do that when things get bad.
Right. Like, why mess with that? It's fine.
Yeah, but this is like if the Pirates were worse.
They've not been historically. I mean, they did have 20 straight losing seasons.
They did.
I would say that.
But like
that's
season
a record.
to season, the Pirates are just sort of like mid-bad, right? Generally speaking. I mean,
it's just like enough to get your hopes up at the trade deadline. You're like, yeah, let's go for it, and then immediately, just your hopes just go right away after that. It's perfect.
What's the line? Quantity has a quality all its own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, watching like the White Sox social media, it does kind of give me flashbacks to when I was covering Pitt basketball, when the Pitt men's basketball team went winless in ACC play, which that's like 0-18 plus losing the first game of the conference tournament.
A great year.
Yeah, and I think the women won 3 games total all season in conference as well. So it was a real banner year for Pitt basketball, but like there's a certain point where you just have to keep going in and like what the result's going to be, and you have to find a way to talk about it and have something to say. Like it's legitimately hard. I remember the one
those coaches' radio shows like. I don't even want to imagine what that's like.
The Kevin Stallings radio show.
The Kevin Stallings radio show. I remember a episode where I was listening in the car and he was talking about playing, I think it was Virginia Tech when Buzz Williams was their coach. And he spent the entire show basically filibustering by talking about going to a country music concert with Buzz Williams. And it was like I forget who's the guy that is like popular and like he has a whiskey now that he's trying to sell.
You've come to the wrong place to talk
this
about.
This could be any country music artist.
I pulled his
Blake
name
Shelton.
Out. It wasn't him. No, I'm saying it's like more like
Garth
like
Brooks.
People are like, oh, that's real good country.
Chubby Checker.
No, I mean, so I it's funny I don't remember now because I pulled his name out for Learned League like a few weeks ago. Like I just pulled that out of my ass. And I knew it specifically because of this listening to the Kevin Stallings radio show.
Fuck, this is gonna bug me now that I know that he was.
I know.
God damn it, Arthur.
He's got a whiskey now that runs ads during NASCAR races. But
Okay.
anyway, my bit that I would do when I covered Pitt is every Monday I would tweet when the AP poll dropped. I would tweet Pitt received 0 votes in the AP poll.
Oh,
Yeah.
You have to find something, you know. You have to. There's got to be just something you latch on. I think if you're a White Sox fan, you can latch on to, like, at this point, trying to make history, right?
See, now the funniest thing is they got 6 games left. The funniest thing is if they win all 6.
Yes.
That's they have to get past. I believe it's the Angels, and I forget who the other team is. But yeah, they have 2 series left, and I think it's funnier if they end up right 120. Apparently, there are only 2 surviving members of that Mets squad. I did joke that they should pop the champagne for this one, which, I mean, yes. I've started a tradition. By tradition, anything you do twice is a tradition. So last week,
Jordan, I didn't know that you went to Texas A&M.
Oh.
And woo! Gig them. Breathe
Yes,
in.
gig
I don't
them.
know the things. Gig them.
Gig them. They have been gigged.
When we got back from the brawl last week, I was exhausted, and I tweeted out. Got back to Beth's house. It was like late as shit, and I just tweeted out, "Okay, kids, we're through week 3 of college football. What did we learn?"
yeah, like 2:00 in the morning.
And that thread blew the fuck up. And so I did it again this morning. And I just want to read a quick. I left the link in there, y'all, if y'all want to look at some of these. But I'm just going to read a couple of the responses we had from our readers. But what did we learn this week? Tiffany at 438 at 83. Oh God, at 8433 Annie tweeted, "A lot of guys are obsessed with shoving things up their asses." Yep.
It's oh my God.
Friend of the program, Nick Pants, Baylor fan, and let me find his. Nick Pants says there is no God.
Fair.
So I believe God has turned on Baylor.
Maybe. Don't mess with the CW. I also see. Don't do that.
That's just good life advice.
That's good life advice. Do not mess with the CW. We love you, CW.
Michigan is back. Texas is back. Navy could win the American. Army could win the American. Anyways,
I love if they both are tied for the American, and then they play their conference non-conference game.
It doesn't count.
It would have to be after.
Yes, the best outcome here is if Army and Navy play the American championship game, and then have to play each other again the next week the real Army Navy game.
I'm going to back off of that because we've had some Navy and Army fans that specifically asked us to just, hey, we're not going to get our hopes up until we're like 7 or 8-0.
No, of course not.
No, that's very fair.
I
I just like it as a thought experiment.
I mean, I feel differently. I want to talk about the logistics of having the Army Navy game, but then also having one of those teams be a playoff team.
I mean, and the thing is, they have to pick that before that game, so it would have to. That game literally becomes a scrimmage where the result does not matter.
Except that the
matters
result matters very, very much.
Pitt Girl, you saw the vision I saw.
Yes.
Where I saw something where they gave Army like a 7-point-something chance to make the playoffs. And then my mind goes, oh, well, that's like the 12 seed against the 5 seed. So Pitt Girl, what did you think?
We're sending Army to State College on December 20th. We're doing it.
So, like, you made the playoffs.
I would go.
You got the 5 seed.
You know
it's
how
great.
much it would cost me to go to that? I would pay it, and I would buy an Army shirt. I am not an Army fan, and I would be there rooting for Army.
If that happens, the committee is taking. Both of you are going.
Okay.
I will. And Arthur, you want to go? If that happens, if Army has to go to Happy Valley for a playoff game.
So I'm not 100% sure when the semifinal dates are. I think I'm going to have a conflict in Louisville, Kentucky that weekend.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll figure. It's normally
it's fine. I'm home. It's less than an hour away. I got
this. We got people going.
Join our Patreon in this unlikely scenario.
We can spend several $100s on sending me and Beth
we'll try to get credentials.
I'll go check and see if the bathrooms are renovated.
The idea of Penn State being like, made the playoffs, 5 seed, fuck yeah. And then being like, and now we have to prep for 2 weeks for Army's bullshit.
Yep.
Mhm.
Oh, just my
At least
my
they get
knees
2
hurt,
weeks.
my legs hurt so much. It just
The-
all hurts.
Just the anger emanating out of State College.
Your reward for a wonderful season is you get to go back home in December, not to a nice warm place. No.
State College in December.
Yep. And just have someone bash your knees in with a shillelagh for 3 hours. Muzzle top.
Commish, after all of this week, this wild week 4.
Yeah.
What are we calling this week? What's our theme?
All right, so we had the wild week 4. This is the week where the transitive property train, it goes off the rails. It's done. It's completely over. This transitive property, none of it is starting to make sense. You still can't explain Oklahoma and Houston to me.
That makes so little sense right now.
MAC teams getting giant wins over like power conference teams, completely dismantled by
Bye,
the MAC
Toledo.
rivals.
Bye, Toledo. No, that was non-conference. That was a Conference USA game.
I'm talking about another one.
Northern Illinois. So long. You got
right.
LemBuffaloed.
That's right.
Man,
You got
justice
Buffalo.
for Bowling Green. All I have to
And then-
say here is justice for Bowling Green.
Bowling Green.
I thought you were talking about Eastern Michigan over St. Francis.
That's right.
I mean, that's
They got
also
revenge.
justice for
They
that.
got revenge.
It's a
for
quality
Kent State.
win.
They
Yeah,
did.
I mean, if you do the transitive property, if you say Eastern Michigan is 36 points better than St. Francis and St. Francis is 6 points better than Kent State, that means Eastern Michigan is going to win that game by 42 points this week.
That's this
That's
week
what
too.
should
Yeah.
happen. So the transitive property is starting not to make sense whatsoever. When Gardner Webb barely hangs on, struggles and almost upsets James Madison 13-6, then nothing is making sense this week. So anything that you thought you knew, you had no idea. And now the transitive properties are just, they're all over the place. My team is better than your team. What is going on this week?
Also, I believe we're calling this. Do you remember the 21st day of September?
That's right.
So let's start with our
The
Friday night.
21st of November, apparently. But okay.
The Friday night slate was so fucking good, guys. We got 3 amazing games. And I'll say this. We'll get to the Thursday night game. The Thursday night game, which I thought was going to be a banger. App State, we're going to have to talk.
Are you okay, App State?
Sean Clark is not in a good place out there. Like they are having talks about his ass at this point. I've even heard things like, we should just get Scott Satterfield back. Ugh.
No.
Oh,
Ugh. So let's not
Jump
get there
scare.
yet.
Wait, can Satterfield escape from Cincy back to App State?
Before
No.
he gets
I
fired,
don't
yeah,
know.
watch it.
He Satterfields his way back
I don't know.
as he began.
I don't know. Cincinnati looked pretty good this week.
Right. Again, but
Uh,
no sense.
They're a quality win. I'm going to say it.
The late
Hey,
night
hey,
game.
by some metrics, Pitt has like a top 10 strength of schedule.
That West Virginia win looking better
Stop
and better.
it. Stop
No,
it.
We are manifesting an 8-win West Virginia for a variety of reasons, folks.
Jesus Christ, you can't do that to me. I can't.
Beth, how could you be mad about your team winning? I'm rooting for your team.
I hate this. I hate this. This is terrible. Fuck.
Now, Commish, you're gonna have to help me here because I watched this
you-
game.
Oh my God.
I passed out because of COVID brain. I watched the recaps of this game.
Okay.
This was Wazzu 54, San Jose State 52 in 2 overtime.
So I'm full transparency. That was an incredibly long day for myself. I made it to the 4th quarter and I made it to the point where Wazzu missed the extra point and then I fell out in the 4th quarter. But Joey took over. Shout out to Joey, our Canadian correspondent. He's been working late shifts, so he doesn't get off work until like 11 p.m. Central. So he gets off of work and then he tags in for the night games. which has been a great help because normally I've been having to do it. And with 2 kids, waking up at like 4 a.m. when the 19-month-old does not want to sleep or there's sleep regression, Joey's been a great help. So this one, this one was just wild from the beginning because if you look at it a couple of different ways, the new Pac-12, they invited Boise State, Fresno State, San Diego State, and Colorado State. San Jose State was not invited. Now, this is one thing that this game led to Arizona people getting mad at Khalil Tate because the coach of San Jose State is Ken Niumatalolo, which we got to post him as a Hawaii quarterback a couple different times. Thank you, CW,
great.
for that. Just to see Ken back in the day as a quarterback with his, his profile pick in the program. He's a QB for Hawaii from 1986 to 1989, which they had the rainbow UH on the helmet. So he got to wear those sweet helmets there. This game was nuts. San Jose State was just battling Wazzu back and forth. You thought like Wazzu kind of had control of the game. It was 21-10. And then bam, after halftime, San Jose State just rattles off 21 straight unanswered points. Wazzu can't do anything. They're up by 14. And I'm like, holy crap. This is like 3-0 Ken Niumatalolo on the way to 4-0. Then here come the Cougs. The Cougs start rolling. They just start going. And John Mateer, our wild man, John Mateer, with the face paint that looks like he's a D lineman.
He might be he might be one of my favorite college football players playing at the moment.
It's like he has. It looks like he has a habit that he chews on his chin strap in between plays. Like he's like nervous and he's getting the play and he's always putting. He's like, it looks like he's biting his chin strap and then he pulls it down and then he's ready to go. So he's a maniac. I love him. It's incredible. They start rolling. They get a touchdown to cut it to 31. 38-31. Then they get another touchdown. And they miss the extra point. So it's 38-37. I'm like, oh, God, here we go. Here comes Wazzu again. 43-38. They missed the 2. Then San Jose State gets a touchdown, takes a lead with like 30-some-odd seconds left in the game. Yeah. They take a lead. It's 46-43. The CW on their broadcast, they were very, very generous on the broadcast, which Joey was getting some flack about this, but the CW put field goal range at Wazzu's own 42-yard line.
I saw this.
So people started ratioing him like, yeah, well, he made the field goal. I was like, Wazzu made a 52-yarder to win. To get it to OT, right? It makes a 52-yarder. Like, well, so what? He made the field goal. I guess they were right after all. I'm like, no, that would have been a 77-yarder.
But Commish,
they had the field goal range.
Commish, who is Wazzu's kicker?
Janikowski, no relation.
Not related.
No relation.
This is Dean Janikowski, not related.
Another Janikowski, no relation. But he hits the 52-yarder. We're going to OT. Pullman's
Can we
going.
At least give them like nominative determinism?
I do think that this might be nominative determinism.
What is this pull into to kicker pipeline that we haven't worked through?
I don't know.
All these Aussies. Let's find the polls.
Well, I mean, maybe if you have that same last name, then you just say like, "Well, I'm going to practice my kicking."
I mean, it's got to run in the family. I'm related somewhere. My last name, I'm related to a lot of folks because it's extremely popular. So this is OT. Like we're in OT now, and second play OT. San Jose State quarterback Emmett Brown, former Wazzu player. Emmett Brown, there was a lot of Back to the Future jokes. Yep. Linear time was a mistake because I couldn't make it up this late. So, interception on the second play of OT. So, all Wazzu has got to do is to get a field goal here. And they win the game. They got Janikowski.
And what do they do, Commish?
What does our man, John Mateer, do? Interception on the second play.
Throws it. He fucking throws it.
He was like just winging it. I mean, he
But
finished with 4 TDs and 2 interceptions, right?
But here's the wild thing, though. He was also their leading rusher. He had 18 carries for 111 yards.
Yes, he's the whole team.
They built
That's
the whole fucking
incredible.
plane out of this one person. It's amazing.
It was nuts when they would hand the ball off to somebody else. And like San Jose State was like, no, you're not going anywhere. They would get like 1 yard. There was one time they 3 people hit the running back for Wazzu, and they hit him so hard he like stumbled backwards like 3 yards. I'm like, okay, and the material was like, fine, I'll just do it myself. So they built the plane out of John Mateer. So Wazzu then gets a touchdown, gets the 2-point conversion. They're up 54-46 in double OT. San Jose State gets the touchdown, but they throw an interception on the 2-point conversion. It's over in double OT. One of the wildest things that happened this weekend. Incredible game. Shout out to Joey. Me passing, like, here you go. Just go with this. I'm fading. I've been up since like 3:30 in the morning with the 19-month-old, and it's like nearly 1 a.m. and this game is still going Central Time, and he was able to take it over. And as soon as that extra point missed, I was like, I gotta tap it. I'm done. This is too stupid. Like, I can't. The chaos and just not happening. It was so great. It was so great. I physically couldn't go anymore. And shout out to Joey for finishing that one off, because those tweets that I woke up in the morning and I read them, I was just like, oh my God. Fantastic stuff, Joey.
The tweets about the kicker
Yes.
were some of the best tweets we as an account have ever produced.
Yep, those were great.
They were wonderful.
So good.
Like, yeah, if you catch us tweeting late at night, just start sending Canadian flags in honor of Joey.
Yeah, he typically takes over. He finished the Hawaii test for me. I made it to about halfway in the third quarter for that one, and Joey was able to finish it off. And shout out again to Hawaii for thank you for passing the Hawaii test and tagging us in this, which is, again, a shout out to RCFB for creating that Hawaii test saying. We are just bringing that on in your memory for that.
My favorite thing about this game was the CW broadcast, because the CW has branded their football broadcasts as like CW Football Saturday. So their first ever Friday night game, are they still going to call it CW Football Saturday?
Oh,
yes, they are. They called it, quote, a special Friday edition of CW Football Saturday. And this was so I watched the NASCAR race on the CW immediately before.
Oh my God.
They were airing like a 30-second promo for the game, like, after the race, stick around. And they said that full phrase, a special Friday edition of CW Football Saturday, twice in the 30-second promo.
Yeah.
Like, they start the promo by saying, like, it's a special Friday edition of CW Football Saturday. And then, like, they, shout out both teams, like, yada yada, and then they close it out by, like, within 30 seconds they say that line again. And also, like, they got the message to the, like, people doing the reads on air to also use that specific phrasing.
I want to give a shout out to the CW, because I don't think there's just been a CW game where it's the only game on. And this was the CW game where it was the only game on, because when it's halftime on the CW, I'm flipping to another game, or I'm watching the quad box. But at halftime, there was no other game on. The halftime show, I was so confused, because they go to halftime and there's this giant promo that looked like they're just about to do live golf. And I was just so utterly confused. They're like, well, here's the recap of the live golf. It's like a bracket of teams, and I'm like, I am so utterly confused on what's going on. And I'm like, is live golf starting? Did the game end and I not know it? It was so weird, man. It was so confusing. It was like 4 minutes long of previewing live golf, and I was just like, what is going on? It's so confusing. And then they previewed what else they had. I forgot, like a NASCAR race. Like after, like one that just ended, like here we got another one after this, and then they had then like Ryan Leaf's a part of one of their broadcast teams. He was at Oregon State for the Oregon State game, along with Tom Brenneman. There's a deep drive to left field. He finally put the headset back on again on the CW. Only on the CW.
I really want to see the CW lean into like the WB roots and say like tonight on a very special episode of CW football.
They kind of did. And we'll get to that a little bit later.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
Earlier that night, we had two games that was kicked off at almost the same time and were good for very different reasons. First one, Stanford 26, Syracuse 24. I do want to shout out to, in our Discord, we had lots of folks at this game.
We did. We had a lot of Syracuse fans at this game, and we had a lot of like neutral fans that lived near Syracuse that went to this game. It was crazy.
And we had one of our folks was there helping out the Syracuse band. It was awesome.
It was great.
I will shout out in our Discord, KG Vineyard 29. Quote, I made it to the Sicko game, but at what cost? I'm so upset.
No, he voted. We had an internal poll and we wound up with the dual Sicko games of the week this week. And he was just like, I came up with that suggestion. He was one that came up with hey, let's make it dual. And then, the poll was so close, we did the dual. And he was like, it was his idea to make it a dual Sickos games of the week. And he was just like, I made it this Sicko game at the week, but what cost? And he's a Syracuse fan.
I would say, listener, I think it's important also that you know that this reader is a Syracuse and UConn fan.
Jesus.
Damn, how are you a fan of both of them?
The one chooses the wizard.
I think he's got degrees on both, from what I remember when he introduced himself.
I don't know. Those are supposed to be rivals. Like, that's a weird combo.
Commish, I would like to turn back my safe, reliable Honda Accord.
Okay.
I believe there's the lemon law will allow me to turn him back in.
Yeah, is he under warranty? We get a warranty
there were
on him.
two interceptions. And
one wasn't his fault. The second, I'm like, safe, reliable Honda Accord. Sometimes there's some transmission issues. He had a couple of different.
Sorry, who
transmission
tweeted
issues.
About the head gasket? Which one of you people worried about that head gasket?
Who do you think lives in a Volkswagen
Pitt
Subaru
Girl.
household?
And then people arguing like, well, no, that's not a head gasket.
That's more of a diesel thing.
That was so good. I knew the metaphor, and then all the actually showed up in the thread.
I feel like if he's a transfer, that's basically like a used car now.
A used Honda Accord.
Maybe like certified
pre-owned. Certified pre-owned.
How certified is the transfer portal?
45-point inspection. We looked under the hood. I don't know what that means.
We checked the
and
washer.
We chased most of the raccoons out of there. You're
That's
welcome.
Right. Some of the wiring, may have been chewed by those raccoons, but who knows?
And really, if you think about it, it might just make it go faster.
It does. The Turbo McCord going airborne for a touchdown. That was great. I was trying to find
nitrous.
I was trying to find Honda Accord like jumping gifs, like the gifs of them like leaping over things, and I couldn't find any. But I found somewhere where some Honda Accords were like running off the road, but then they hopped back on. It was great.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of action movies. I'm trying to think of where I've seen specifically a Honda Accord flying through the air, and I'm coming up empty.
No, it's nothing. We're gonna have to make this.
We're gonna have to finance.
I will give a shout out to my 1989 Honda Accord that was my first car. There was a part near on the way to a baseball field where I would go practice at when I think I was about 16. And this road had like nothing on either side except like a little bridge over a canal, and my 1989 Honda Accord could get up to like 100, and I would go airborne in the Accord for a little bit there, but on the way to practice, which there was nothing around. There's just like a 1-lane each way road.
Were you jumping the canal there, Dukes of Hazzard?
I was jumping the canal.
Duke, look at those Duke boys. We're up 2 again.
Them Duke boys up there again. Look at that Honda Accord flying over there.
We got to talk about Alec Iomanor because, like, he just was torching fools.
man, it's 4th down, and Syracuse is trying to hold them. Everybody in the building knows they're going to throw it to him. Everyone. Every single person knows they're going to throw it to him. Syracuse is like, okay, we're going to bring pressure. And they leave their cornerback out on an island, one-on-one coverage, back shoulder, perfectly thrown back shoulder ball. It seemed like a really like routine catch, and they get it, and they're in field goal range, and they were able to put it away.
Our other game that night was NERBNOIS.
NERBNOIS.
Ranked NERBNOIS.
Ranked. Special ranked edition.
Number 19, Illinois fighting Illini 31, Nebraska Cornhuskers 24. Nebraska. This one score thing.
This is a sparkling NERBNOIS.
It's like one score loss thing. I know, guys. I know. I'm sorry. I don't know what to do about it. It's not as bad as it was, but this was another one. Commish, what did you do?
Okay, so once the Syracuse game ended, I flipped this one on to the main screen. So I put this game on the main screen. Yeah. First play I see is Dylan Raiola fumble, but they recover it. Second play goes nowhere. Third play, Dylan Raiola fumbles, but they still recover it. Then they have to punt. Illinois gets the ball back. First play, nothing too big. Next play, Nebraska gets a fumble. So as soon as I turned the game on, 5 plays, there have been 3 different fumbles. Nebraska recovers it. I'm like, I'm sorry. And so Corn correspondent Andrew is just mad. Why did you turn the game on? I'm like, I should have just went straight to the CW. I should have swerved to avoid that. But there's a moment in this game where it felt like all of the corn demons would have just gone away if this would have happened. There's 2 things here. 2 things that could have happened. It's like 3rd and 3, play action fake. Raiola goes back to pass. It's like a 4th string tight end, which I don't know why the 4th string tight end is in the game. And it's a perfect route, perfect play action call, perfect play call. Raiola goes back to pass, throws it up, lofts the ball, but the 4th string tight end just can't get there, and it's just slightly overthrown. That's the game sealer. That's the game winner. That's the exercising of the demons. It was just that close. So then Nebraska has a backup kicker. It's a 39-yarder. Do you go for it on 4th and 3, or you try to kick this field goal? It makes it a 10-point game if you do this. It's a 2-possession game. It's late in the game. You kind of putting the game out of reach of Illinois here. You do it. Yeah. So they decide to kick the field goal with the backup kicker. The hold, not that great. The laces are in. The kick goes up and like just immediately starts hooking to the left. No good.
Oh yeah, just I saw it. Like once it went off his foot, I was like, no, I was just absolutely
like, oh, God. Because this was another kick that Nebraska had last year against Iowa, where there was just no chance of that field goal going the same direction to take the lead late and possibly just basically put and exercise the demon. And it's just the corn demons, as I called them earlier. But it just did not happen. And then from that point on, it felt like the Nebraska team was just like, oh, shit, here we go again. And I don't know if it's a mentality thing. They have to get over the hump somehow. But getting over the hump, you gotta find a way, and it feels like it's so close to happening. And as a Nebraska fan, I'm not even a Nebraska fan. I grew up hating Nebraska. My family's from Miami. Like, we hated you in the 90s, and Miami was another team of the 90s. But now I'm pulling so hard for the Huskers to have this happen, and this is why I turned the channel on, because I want to see this. I'm like, just do it, Nebraska. And they couldn't. Illinois and Bert, masterful game plan.
You mean playoff front runner Illinois?
That's right.
Yeah, I mean they're still they're legit in this thing still.
They are good. They are. The thing is,
yeah.
I love
face
Illinois.
The Pitt Girl is making.
No, like there's there's
I mean,
11 spots.
I understand how this is like technically correct, but it feels spiritually very wrong.
It feels wrong. It
Or
does.
does it feel right?
Oh.
Mm.
Oh,
Very feeling,
I mean,
Ugh.
I mean,
Playoff, Bert.
playoff berth.
I'm still going to be
Yeah.
arguing. I believe both
No.
Nicole Auerbach and Bill Connolly put this in my head. There is still a chance for a Stanford Cal ACC championship game
There is, which
in Charlotte.
It took a ding this weekend. We'll get to that in a bit.
Whatever.
But just I love. I feel like Bert kind of coaches how I am in old age right now, and this is a compliment.
Do you need a
Interesting. Speak
moo-moo
on this.
too?
No. I just wanted to say this. I've hit the point in my life where I know what I can do and what I can't do. And I feel like Bert coaches his team that way. I know what my team can do and I know what they can't do. And boy, do they know what they can do and they just keep doing it. They're not trying to, go do the Ironman triathlon right now. Like, I am not doing that. Somebody asked me to do the Tough Mudder. I'm like, hell no. There's no way in hell I could do this. I will. Just like last week, somebody was just saying, hey, can you tackle Cam Scattaboo or Ashton
No.
Genty?
Fuck no, I
was like,
can't.
no, I will die. I will crumble into dust. I know my
guys,
body right now.
Folks,
It's like, I
we
know
don't
what I
want to
can.
have to do this podcast down a person for several months.
No.
I would
I
disintegrate.
here I will say this: if Pip loses a football game this week, I will tackle I'll tackle Scattaboo, I'll tackle Genty, I'll take them both down if Pitt loses a football game this week.
Pitt off this week. Pitt's off this week, right?
Pitt's got a bye
To
week,
be
right?
young.
Okay.
Okay.
Making sure.
No, I love it. It feels Bird is just so. I know his time in Arkansas wasn't the greatest. It wasn't an ideal thing, and the way he left Wisconsin, not great. But it feels like he knows the limitations of his Illinois team and knows the limitation of the program, like the recruiting and the portal, like what they can and can't do. And I'm just going to use a G.I. Joe line here. And I mean, knowing is half the battle, right?
Yeah.
We'll just say that.
G.I. Joe.
G.I. Bert.
Oh, God.
Real American Illini.
Snake Eyes. Sergeant Slaughter. Bert. You remember when
It feels like that. It
Go,
does.
You used to have just characters that were like Sergeant Slaughter. Like that was just what he did. What did he do? Oh yeah, he's a military guy. What is he known for? Slaughtering people.
Murder.
Kid's toy. Yeah.
There was a wrestler named that too.
It was the same guy.
It was, yeah. He kind of. If you haven't met my dad, he's got a resemblance to Sergeant Slaughter.
Okay. You wear the hat?
And he was a Marine. So
There you go.
there you go. Based on Commish's father. What can you just say that?
Our other game of the week was on Saturday night. This one ends up being Florida State 14, Cal 9.
What a
Cal redistributed the wins like good socialists that they are. There were too many wins in one place. They gave one to Florida State.
That's right. Socialism.
Not my wins, our
That's
wins.
what that means, right?
There's such a thing as seizing the means of production, and then there's just simply deciding you're not going to be the means of production anymore. And this is more in the latter camp.
Cal's on strike.
Cal decided to try to paper cut Florida State. Cal ends up with over 400 yards of offense for 9 points.
Spinach.
Delightful.
And just trying to cut them. And you know what, guys? It was fucking working until DJ decides to hit an absolute dime in the fourth, which he had not been able to do at all.
No.
Sometimes a blind squirrel finds a nut.
I mean, it felt like freaking angels in the outfield. Like, you're like, where did that come from?
Yeah. Cal's kicker, Ryan Coe, hits field goals, I believe, from 51, 29, and 25, and then misses a 36 and a 38.
As soon as he missed the one wide right,
Oh,
it
that
was
was
over.
yeah.
It was over for the woke left.
You know, the best part was by the end of the week, Cal Twitter, even Florida State Twitter was like, "Hey, do you know how woke we are? We did all these great things too. We are with his background in LGBT rights, and like Florida State does have a great background in like a lot of these things. But even Florida State Twitter was like, "No, you're not coming here to liberate us. You're coming here to join us."
You can't.
That's
It
that's
worked.
winning hearts and minds.
It
That's
worked.
winning hearts and minds.
It
Yeah.
worked.
I do think like the thing that's funny to me about this game is that Florida State finally wins, and if you look at Bill Connolly's post-game win expectancy,
Oh yeah.
which is basically just trying to say like, okay, like given these stats, how many times does the winning team win this game? So Florida State finally gets a win, and the post-game win expectancy is like, it was a fluke.
Oh,
like,
yeah. Like you play
they
this to
shouldn't have
100
won
times,
that
they win
game.
this like 15 times. Yeah.
The actual number, by the way, 33%
33.
of the time Florida State.
My
wins
favorite
this
thing
game.
in this game was looking at half and finding out that Cal had 3 penalties for 1 yard
Yeah, it was great. And then we
They
got
were-
the answer to it.
because they were back so far back. They were back so far back and kept getting false start penalties
Mm.
They
inside
were
their
on the
own
2-yard
1.
line, and then they got the half the distance to the goal to push them back to 1, and then they got another penalty on the 1. Then they got another penalty on the 1. So they had 3 penalties. All in the shortest. I wish I could find the data for this, because if there's a way to track penalty yardage in something hilarious like this, yeah, I would love to track that.
I think about this game that Cal, gave it a shot at the end. It just was not clicking. They couldn't get the ball, like couldn't move the ball at the very end. That's fine, whatever. A lot of folks were like, well, I guess that's the end of Cal Twitter. Y'all don't understand Cal Twitter. They've
No,
been
they-
doing this forever.
Yes.
Mhm.
This is
They're-
not new. They were
No.
molded by the darkness.
Guess who they
This
play
is-
next?
Who is it?
It's Miami after a bye week. The
Fuck
Hurricanes.
yeah,
The Hurricanes are going to Cal on October 5th.
Oh, yes. Tightwad Hill, I need you out there.
Oh, it's going to be great.
So let's talk about other games that were an absolute
Oh,
goddamn
no.
mess.
This,
Arkansas 24, Auburn 14.
I'm in love with Arkansas this year. I
I
am
was
truly
getting
in love.
sad texts from my dad during
I
this game.
I look, when we talked about embracing the hog, and Sam Pittman talked about that at SEC Media Days, I fully bought in. I am fully embracing the hog. This team is a Commish favorite of the season. This oh my god.
They
Arkansas
had you
has
at
now-
Woo Pig.
God,
Arkansas has now won a game with a post-game win expectancy of 6.8%, and they've lost the game with a post-game win expectancy of 86.2% in the span of 3 weeks.
that is so numeric, like statistically unlikely.
I
That's
I mean,
wild.
it all averages
God.
out.
essentially
No, that's not how those stats work.
How
That's not how
dare
that
you.
works.
It says they should have won one of those 2 games, and they did.
How dare you come at the Hogs with your weakling math?
yes. You
At,
better
I don't
embrace
know.
the hog.
at one point, Bobby Petrino got so pissed off at the bullshit in this game, he dialed up 10 straight runs.
I
It was
don't
just like,
blame him.
fuck it, run. I don't
I don't
care.
I don't blame him.
3 different
because
guys
Yeah,
getting the
based-
ball.
Based on how this game went, that's a good plan.
Mhm.
Honestly, Auburn turned the ball over five. Okay, you want me to say this word for it?
Yeah.
Auburn turned the ball over 5 fucking times in the game. There was one point at the end of the first half, which I tweeted, Arkansas and Auburn, we love you. And it was just a tweet of the drives of the first half. It was 7-0 to Arkansas. The last 3 drives, essentially, if you don't count the kneel, ended in interceptions, and they all occurred in 26 seconds.
And Commish, where did that tweet end up, Commish?
Was that on the CW?
On TruTV, I believe.
On TruTV. It
On
made it on
TruTV.
Oh, we made
Sent
it
by
on the
True
network?
TV noticed us?
TruTV noticed us. I think Mike Gullick Jr. had a hand to play there.
I think this week the impractical joke was this game. I mean, I think like we've noticed already, Auburn has this trend where they would like when they're gonna commit a turnover, like they just get right to it. They don't mess around. They're not driving down the field.
It's never like third and whatever. It's always
No.
like first
Second
down,
down.
just done.
It's like 2-play drives where the second play is a pick.
Yeah,
Someone-
it's very much like whenever I try to give the 3-year-old a food that she's not familiar with. Like I have a split second to sell her on it, and if it doesn't work, that food is gone. Like Auburn is that way with possessions. Like I don't like this drive.
Arkansas converted something like 5 or 6 third and longs to have to like make this work.
Jesus Christ.
This is why the post-game win expectancy was so low for them, because the amount of shit that they had to do to get this game to win was wild.
Low post-game win expectancy in a game that they won by 10 points while
won by
being
10.
handed the ball 5 times.
Yes. Can you make that more high-pitched?
I'm sure I could if I tried.
It was
It's fine. I can do it in post.
5 times. 5 times.
At Melissa AU13 on Twitter, quote, Arthur Gustavo Malzahn would never have done this to me.
That is true.
Is that his real name?
Yes.
Yes.
Gustavo is his middle name?
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, he's a Gustavo.
Oh
Oh,
my God.
Gustavo. That is not what I thought you said.
Oh no.
Wait.
So
does that mean?
then, what?
What did I
you
say?
guys- what did you guys say?
Oh,
It is also, if, in the interest of full disclosure, it's Arthur Gustavo Malzahn III.
Yes.
ooh.
Ooh.
What did you think I said? Or Jordan say?
Gestapo.
Oh,
Nope. Now,
Bummer of the middle name.
of all of these games,
well, that was me? You
so
thought I said
far.
the Gustavo?
of
Oh, it's
all
Jordan.
of these
Okay.
games,
All right.
of all of these games on Saturday, none of these were the wildest though, because in Chapel Hill, things were brewing. James Madison 70, North Carolina 50. Y'all,
Arthur has a game to go with
Yes.
this game.
Yeah.
go.
You
Okay.
want to do the game first or talk about the game itself?
Let's do the game first
Okay.
because we're gonna go through some of the stuff that I think would come up anyway.
Okay.
And actually would be kind of a spoiler if we talked about it. So here's how the game works. I am going to tell you the drive, okay? And you have to tell me if the subsequent drive was longer or shorter. So
Okay.
in the interest of time, just like one word answers, we're just gonna go around. I have a spreadsheet here. Well, I guess if you're listening at home, you can't see the spreadsheet, but I have one here. I'm just gonna be keeping track of
Oh,
how
you
many
put it in the
points
chat
everyone
already.
gets.
Okay.
So the first drive of the game, James Madison drives 5 plays, 44 yards in a minute 24. Was the next drive longer or shorter?
So North Carolina?
Yes.
Or you think it's North Carolina? Because I know there was a surprise onside kick somewhere.
Yes, but we're not there yet.
We're not there
No.
yet. No.
Next drive longer or shorter than a minute 24?
Okay.
Longer.
I'm gonna say shorter.
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 All right, everyone but Pitt Girl got that. The next drive was indeed shorter. By the way, I'm doing this based on time, not necessarily
Just
number of
time of
plays.
possession.
Based
Okay.
on time of possession. Okay. Next drive was 3 plays, 67 yards, a minute 12, ending in a fumble for North Carolina. Was the next drive longer or shorter than a minute 12?
Shorter.
Shorter.
I'm gonna say longer.
All right, everyone but Commish gets that. It was indeed shorter. It was
Okay.
only 57 seconds.
Ah,
JMU went
all right.
3 and out and punted.
Ooh,
Next
that was a
drive.
punt?
Yep, next drive. UNC gets the ball back. Is this drive longer or shorter than 57 seconds?
Longer.
Shorter.
Shorter.
I'm gonna say longer.
All right, Beth and Pitt Girl get it. It was indeed shorter
Jesus.
than 57 seconds. It was only 51 seconds.
Wow.
North Carolina went 3 and out. However, James Madison blocked the punt and
I ran
returned it
back
for a touchdown to go up 11-0 because they also went for 2. The next drive.
Going for 2. I want to just pause this briefly so that we can acknowledge that the going for 2 attempt included a pass by the kicker.
Yes.
Yeah, it was
great.
good. It was good. Okay, next drive. Longer. UNC gets the ball back. Longer or shorter than 51 seconds?
Oh, God.
Longer.
I'm just gonna say shorter.
Shorter.
Okay, Pitt Girl and Jordan get that one. It was longer.
Okay.
North Carolina went 6 plays, 77 yards in 2 minutes and 19
Okay.
seconds.
Oh,
Ooh. That's a long one. You
So
can almost
James
spoil
Madison,
an egg.
yeah, James Madison gets the ball back. Was their drive longer or shorter than 2 minutes 19?
Shorter.
Shorter.
I think we all got a shorter here.
It was indeed shorter. They went 4 plays, 11 yards, and punted after 2 minutes and 1 second.
Oh,
it's still also long though. This is like
that was kind of a long 2
Yes.
minutes and 1 second. All right.
Next drive, UNC has the ball. Longer or shorter than 2:01?
Shorter.
Shorter.
Longer.
It was shorter.
I'm just going the opposite of y'all.
UNC goes 5 plays, 80 yards, only takes 1:58.
okay.
Oh.
Okay,
Ooh.
a little shorter. Okay.
Few seconds.
James Madison, their turn. Longer or shorter than 1:58?
Shorter.
Shorter.
Yeah, I gotta go shorter here. It's probably
It was indeed shorter. 2 plays, 75 yards, touchdown, 32 seconds.
Woo!
Next drive.
32 seconds.
It's James Madison again. This is where they went for the onside kick.
Okay.
The surprise onside kick.
and they got it.
Which- They did get it. Yeah, I said when they did it, we're going to be able to do the discourse again that we did last week with Tennessee kicking the onside against Kent State. If it was mean for James Madison to go onside against
Oh
UNC.
no, keep
No.
going.
Run it
So-
up on UNC,
Run
guys.
it up.
So was the drive when they got this onside kick, was it longer or shorter than 32 seconds?
Longer.
Longer.
Oh,
Beth's
man.
thinking.
Oh man, is this the one they scored on one play?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
There's one that they scored on one play. I'm
I'm
gonna
going to say
shorter.
shorter.
Yeah, shorter.
No, this one was longer. It
Oh.
took them a whopping 5 plays, 61 yards, 2 minutes and 11 seconds.
Oh,
Okay.
that's an eternity.
That's an
Wow.
eternity in this game. We're still in the first quarter, right?
I'm not sure. This it doesn't have it. I'm looking at ESPN's thing. I
I'm
know
not
we're
looking
a
at it.
ways
I can't
from
tell you.
halftime because these drives are so short. Okay, UNC, they get the ball. Longer or shorter than 2:11?
Shorter.
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 I'm gonna die on my sword here. Longer.
It was shorter. UNC goes 6 plays, 75 yards, 1:50. Next drive, James Madison. Longer or shorter than 1:50?
Can you tell us
Shorter.
what the score is right now?
The score right now, James Madison with the ball. It's James Madison 25, North Carolina 21.
Okay, we're basically tennis scores right now.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
still sometime. I think this is in the first quarter sometime because it hasn't gotten out of
It
hand
maybe
yet.
got to the second quarter at this point.
Okay, I pulled it up. This is the second quarter.
Okay.
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 Yeah.
This is, I believe, shorter now.
Yeah, probably shorter.
Shorter.
Yeah,
Just gonna take the under.
Question:
take
so it's shorter or longer than 1:50?
Shorter.
Shorter.
Is everyone saying shorter?
I'm gonna go longer.
Okay, Commish is going longer. It was longer.
Hey,
Hey.
8 plays, 75 yards, 4 minutes and 13
Oh,
that's the
seconds.
longest drive of the first
Wow.
half.
God, that's
A new high
Everything else-
score.
Almost. I'm just gonna say shorter for the rest of the first half at this point.
UNC's drive, longer or shorter than 4:13?
Shorter.
Shorter.
It is indeed shorter. 3 plays, -5 yards, 1:06.
Yep.
Oh boy.
So they punt. James Madison gets the ball. Longer or shorter than 1:06?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Longer on this one.
I'm gonna say shorter.
I also want to say shorter here.
I'll say longer.
It was shorter.
Oh.
Was it the
2
one play?
plays,
2 plays.
69 yards, 29
Nice.
seconds.
Nice.
Oh God.
Nice.
UNC's possession, longer or shorter than 29 seconds?
Longer.
Longer.
It's got to be longer, right?
It is indeed longer. They got 4 plays, 2 yards, a minute 21 before they fumbled.
This kid's so dumb.
I love this game so much.
Next possession for James Madison. Longer or shorter than a minute 21?
Shorter.
It was a
Shorter.
fumble, right? It's just fumble. North Carolina just fumbled. It's got to be shorter. It's got to be shorter.
Yep, it is in fact 1 play, 27
And
yards.
we
That was
found
the one
it.
play. There it is.
took them 10 whole seconds to go 27 yards. I don't know what. You could probably just actually measure someone's speed running. Next drive for UNC. They get the ball back. Longer or shorter than 10 seconds?
Longer.
It's got to be longer.
It is indeed longer. 3 plays, 27 yards, 1 minute, ending in an interception.
What's the score right now?
The score right now is James Madison 46, North Carolina 21. Halfway through the second quarter.
We're just halfway through the second quarter. Jesus Christ.
I had the college football blitz on my phone on the speaker at the tailgate. And when you score like this game scores, you get on the blitz a lot. You get a lot of airtime on the blitz. So we were captivated by this game. So UNC has just had a 1-minute drive. James Madison, they get the ball back. They intercepted it. Longer or shorter than 1 minute?
Ooh.
Longer.
Shorter.
Shorter.
Let's go. Is this the one where they breach 50? Because they breached 50 in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say longer.
It was shorter.
Oh.
2 plays, 31 yards. James Madison losing a fumble to end that drive. UNC ball. Longer or shorter than 48 seconds?
It's gotta be longer.
Longer.
Does it have to be longer, but also longer?
Yep, it took them longer to go 3 and out and punt. It took them 57 seconds to go 3 plays, 1 yard and punt.
Oh my god.
Next drive, James Madison football. Longer or shorter than 57 seconds?
Shorter.
Yeah, they still have to score again. Shorter.
Shorter.
It was longer.
Oh, I got blanked.
26 yards, 3 minutes and 4 seconds.
Wow,
Holy
that's
crap. So long.
the second longest
That's so
drive of the
long
first
for
half.
such a short distance.
Okay, how much time we got left in the half here? No, don't tell us that. How many
Yeah,
drives
I might
left
give
in
it
the
away.
half?
I will say we're relatively close to the end of
Okay.
the half. But so 3 minutes and 4 seconds was the James Madison drive. Did North Carolina have a longer or shorter drive?
Shorter.
Shorter, yeah. That's
It was indeed shorter because it only took them 3 plays to throw a pick six. So that was 29 seconds.
There was okay. They
And
scored on the pick six.
That's how James Madison crossed the 50-point threshold.
Okay, now I know where we are.
Okay.
Since it was a pick six, UNC gets the ball back immediately. How much time did that drive take?
Longer.
Shorter.
Yeah, longer.
Go shorter.
I think we got to go to halftime at this point.
Shorter.
It was longer. It took them 56 seconds. They did run the clock out to
I was wondering how close we were going to get.
That was the gambit.
Yeah. Wow. Incredible.
God.
Okay. I will say, the first half was a little crazier than the second half.
Here,
The second half was...
Can we just cut it at the first half? Because I feel like
let's cut the game at the first half.
I feel like that's
perfect.
good, Arthur.
That's good enough.
Yes, I will just run through the drives in the second half.
Please do.
So UNC, they get the ball to start. They go 9 plays, 50 yards, 3 minutes and 25 seconds for a field goal. James Madison gets the ball back. 6 plays. In those 6 plays, they go 75 yards over 219 for a touchdown. UNC has their own 6-play touchdown drive. This one's 79 yards. Takes 2 minutes and 1 second off the clock. James Madison, their drive, 6 plays, another 6-play drive. They only go 15 yards, 4 minutes and 3 seconds elapsed, and this one ends in their punt being blocked for a touchdown.
Yep. Remember that?
So that had already happened to UNC. So both teams did that in that game. James Madison then goes 10 plays, 50 yards, 4 minutes and 40 seconds. So they're chewing more clock here in the second half. They get a field goal. UNC, 7 plays, 78 yards, 2 minutes and 19 seconds. Touchdown. James Madison, 3 plays, 5 yards, 57 seconds. Punt. UNC, 4 plays, 3 yards, 44 seconds. Lost fumble. James Madison, 7 plays, 33 yards, 4 minutes and 53 seconds. Touchdown. UNC, 12 plays, 80 yards, 3 minutes and 1 seconds. Touchdown. And then James Madison closes out the game by kneeling it out. 2 plays, 2 yards, minute 18. I don't know how to talk about this game in a general sense, because if you look at just the yardage totals for these teams, right? UNC actually outgained James Madison 616 yards to 611 yards.
Yeah.
So that leads me to say, UNC had a pretty good game on offense, at least. Except they also turned the ball over 5 times.
And they looked like garbage.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of this game and they just looked like garbage.
The thing that was the most amusing to me about this game was we were all perceiving UNC the way they were playing. And my immediate reaction, which is actually still my reaction, is, man, this is going to make it so much more frustrating when Pitt loses at UNC.
Yep.
Correct.
It would be one thing if UNC was looking good and it's like, well, they just got beat. It's going to, 2 weeks from now, I'm going to be so frustrated.
Yeah,
when
no,
this game goes
this
south.
game's going to be like the 76-61 Syracuse game, but the ball's going to bounce the other way and we're all going to be mad about it.
Okay, let's roll into ads then. We'll go from there before we get to the rest of our games. First off, check out the Varsity app from Learfield. On there, you can find a bunch of podcasts, including our podcast and the Solid Verbal, which is basically a peer podcast at this point, if you ask me.
Yeah, we're the same. We're pretty much the same.
Yeah, we're next to them on the app. That's how you know we're the same.
That's how you know we're peers.
But most
We're
importantly,
like
on
the
there,
person that crosses the arms together in that promo for the 2 sitcoms that run back to back.
Oh yeah,
on the CW.
But most importantly, on Saturdays, listen to the Blitz on there, the College Football Blitz. Our good friend Stephen Hartzell does the morning crew on this, and basically what it is college football red zone for radio. For 12 hours every Saturday, you get to listen to calls from across the country. They cut in and out depending on what's going on. Like I said, they were at this game, the JMU North Carolina game, for a good chunk of it, because every time they cut away, they'd have to come flying back because something else had happened. And if you're out and about, if you're at a tailgate, if you are dealing with family, if you are whatever, in fact, even if you're at home and just trying to watch tons of games, this is probably your best way to do it. I always throw this on my ear or put it on my iPhone while I'm watching other stuff, just so I know where to pay attention to. If you download the Varsity app and you're listening on a Saturday, look for our thread about it. If you drop a picture of yourself in there listening to it, or where you're listening to it, you will get a chance to win a free Sickos Committee koozie, which are very awesome and very useful.
I mean, honestly, if you just reply and show that you're listening to the Blitz, you're probably going to get a koozie. There's almost I'm not going to give you a 100% guarantee, but if you do it and just reply to our pinned tweet on the Saturday, you're probably going to get a koozie. I'm just going to say that. Mm-hmm.
They're very good koozies. They're a lovely shade of green.
They are. Commish's favorite color.
You can have Twin Day with Puddles.
Yeah.
He loves his koozie.
Check out our link tree on our Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky profiles for various discounts. Join our Patreon for $5 a month. You get access to our Discord, where we talk about our weekly ratings debates. People ask how much chat we actually do about those things, and y'all, last week, it was a lot of it, because we couldn't figure out.
These are hard, folks.
Yeah. Look, this is something that we take seriously. I know we're the Sickos Committee. I know you see the name Sickos and you're just like, they're just screwing around. But no, when it comes to the rankings, we will debate this like this is the AP top 25 every single week.
Honestly, I think we probably think harder about this than a lot of AP voters think about their votes.
That could be a possibility, honestly, because typically I'm just going to break it down how it goes is I will get the schedule and I'll just throw the schedule in there, FBS versus FBS, throw it into our Discord. And, everybody just starts sounding off like, hey, this one could be one, this one could be one, this one could be one. Here's my top 5, here's my top 10, here's my whatever. They just go back and forth. Then I probably throw my first iteration of the rankings on Monday. And then I normally say, I hate these. Please make me hate them more. And from that point, I will just debate them internally, and I will just keep shuffling and shuffling and shuffling. Some news breaks on Tuesday or whatever. And, oh my God, this means this one's higher than this one, or this one's lower than this one. We're ranking this, like, there's injury reports. I'm like, oh my God, is Cam Rising going to play? Yes or no? We can put this higher or lower. Something like that happens.
New rule, Cam Rising's not going to play.
He's not.
Full stop.
There.
We will assume that Cam Rising is not playing until we have evidence otherwise.
That is true.
See him in a uniform on the field throwing the ball.
He is not going to play until he is Cam Rising.
Oh, Cam falling.
Cam Risen.
So
Cam is risen.
That's what we do.
Praise
we
be.
debate this.
Cam is risen indeed.
We debate this very, very difficult. We do it. We take this seriously. We're sickos or whatever, but we look for the games that are the most ridiculous, and we came up with Sickos games of the week. I don't think we ever had that before.
Nope, we have not.
Oh, it was the right call for both of them. And then our top 10 this week, absolutely insane. I don't think there was anyone that was really, really not Sickos at all this week in the top 10. There were some that were maybe rated low.
You say that, and now I've got to look at that and see if there's anything in there. No, I think they were all really good. Purdue, Oregon State had a weird couple plays, but otherwise, but yeah.
Train derailed.
So also, we have our merch store, sickoscommunity.org. If you want some Sickos merch, you can also find it on our Twitter profile now, because thanks to Commish and Kevin who figured that out. We have our YouTube channel, follow it. We have our Instagram, we have our Twitch. We have our Substack, where we are doing our weekly Sickos stat summaries and Sickos awards by the week. Shout out Message Board Geniuses podcast. They go to the places we refuse to go, like the places that are calling for Urban Meyer to go back to certain jobs. God fucking.
Meltdown alert is always fun on the weekends. It's 7-0. Fire everybody.
And then, of course, home field apparel. I see a Blast for the Burrow. I'm wearing TCU. I've got McLaren. That's not home field.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Sure, it is. Oh, that's right. And then I got a Dome Sweet Dome for Commish.
The Kimmy Dome.
This McLaren shirt is a historical artifact because it's got the
Pato?
driver lineup for 2024 that was accurate for about a month before McLaren changed it again.
If you've never ordered from Hofield before, use offer code yes, yes, 3 Haas for 15% off your first order. And as always, our Sickos hat showcase, where we have special hats this year, 2 per week. We've had Florida State, Georgia Tech, Penn State, West Virginia, Iowa, Iowa State, Rice, Houston, and Arizona State and Texas Tech. Use offer code yes, yes, for 25% off those hats.
Yeah, I don't have one set up for this week, so stay tuned. It'll be coming. I'm gonna look at the schedule and figure something out at some point.
Secret hats.
Just yell at us. Yell at us which hats you like.
Which hats you like, and if they play this week, you may have a chance. If there's a Rutgers hat, maybe.
Ooh.
Let me see.
Hey, Prime members, have you heard? You can listen to your favorite podcasts ad-free? Good news! With Amazon Music, you have access to the largest catalog of ad-free top podcasts included with your Prime membership. To start listening, download the Amazon Music app for free or go to amazon.com/ad-free-podcast. That's amazon.com/ad-free-podcast to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
Other games that went on this week. First off, Florida 45, Mississippi State 28. Florida's fixed.
We fixed it.
It's fixed it. They
It's
did it.
fixed.
It's about the Graham Mertz Experience. I want to take an album cover from the Alan Parsons Project.
Yeah.
Because I don't know why. If you have a band named like The Project and it's just like a band, I'm like, are you still working on it? I don't get it. But whatever. I want to take an album cover and turn it into an alligator theme thing and just make this the Graham Mertz Experience. Graham Mertz was on fire. Florida passing was on fire in the first half. At one point, Graham Mertz was 15 of 16 for 147, 3 TDs. Also, DJ Lagway, 4 for 4 for 49 yards. So there were 19 for 20 for 196 and 3 TDs. In the first half, it was at 28-7, and they kind of ran away with it.
Commish, out of everyone attached to this game, why is it that Dan Mullen had the least amount of chill?
This was my best find of the day.
Oh no, I was ready.
This is probably our best tweet of the day in terms of numbers. Matt Berry posted. Matt Berry is Dan Mullen's co-host for the game.
Thursday night.
They've done the Thursday night game. And so Matt Berry does a little screen cap of like, fun fact about this game from the game. When was the last time these two teams, Mississippi State and Florida, both had 10-win seasons? Why, they were both under coach Dan Mullen. And Dan Mullen hits that retweet button so fucking hard, like within 4 minutes of Matt Berry posting this tweet. And I just happened to catch it right then. And it was so good. He had no chill about this, and I love it. I love this Dan Mullen. Weird
revisionist history about the Dan Mullen tenure.
Oh, Kirk Herbstreit was already talking about it. Like, was Dan Mullen so bad? People forgot that he didn't recruit for 3 years.
Hey,
I mean, compared to what's currently happening.
Yeah, I know. Well, and someone made a very good point.
It can always be worse.
Dan Mullen pre-COVID year versus post-COVID year was very different.
Yeah.
And like clearly on the other side, the recruiting was not there. I get that. Like they had good reasons to fire him. Like really did.
Yeah.
However,
this
bit of revisionist history is really fun. I like this. Like
the
Dan Mullen years weren't that bad.
I also think it's funny because a lot of the people that are trying to like talk about how Dan Mullen wasn't that bad are his coworkers now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course
like it's a lot of people who's like, oh, convenient that you work there now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No one on ESPN saying nice things about
are they
Urban
trying
Meyer.
to get Dan Mullen to get hired so they can get rid of him from hire him back. We're tired of him.
I love his Thursday night shit, man.
No,
he's
great.
Play golf. It's like it's always
I don't
those
think
games are always
anywhere.
like,
He's good.
He plays golf.
He's good at the job.
He really is. I will say this. I like Matt Berry and Dan Mullen as a broadcasting duo. Even during, because they were there with Harry Lyles Jr. on Thursday night. We'll get to that in a second. But like, that was a great thing.
That was a lot of fun.
The FLOYD of Rosedale. Iowa takes the pig home 31-14. Brings Hoke the bacon, as I said.
Bringing Hoke the bacon.
Congratulations, Iowa. You now have sole custody of Moodang.
It just felt like in this game that like Minnesota hung in as long as they could, and then they just got sleepy.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel when watching Iowa football too.
Yeah.
It's just like Iowa is Iowa the WWE wrestler that just puts you in the sleeper hold and you're just constantly woozy, and then you hold your arm up and it's still going.
Mm-hmm.
Hold the arm up again. Oh, it's still going. And then by like halfway through the third quarter, the arm just goes straight down and it's over.
Yep.
That's right. They put you in the sleeper hold. The Kirk Ferentz sleeper hold.
Cade McNamara
and
goes
Bill Parker,
11 for 19 for 62 yards.
That's all you need.
But they ran for 272. Caleb Johnson is their star. 206, 3 TDs. The answer to every question in Iowa this year needs to be get the ball to Caleb Johnson.
No, it's Caleb Johnson and their O-line.
Yes.
Their O-line that has won the Salon Beef Days was like the hay bale toss over the thing at the Iowa. It's oh my God. I love when they do this. There was a time where Ferentz wouldn't allow the linemen to do this because they would get injured throwing the hay bales and stuff. It was, oh my God. They have some linemen that are incredibly amazing at Iowa, and partnered with Caleb Johnson, they will just wear you down and put you in that sleeper hold.
I would like you all to imagine something with me briefly.
Imagining.
Okay.
What if Flexbone, Iowa?
Ooh.
Ooh.
I mean,
but do you
honestly,
think Cade could do that?
Yeah, like they don't need to get the quarterback running. Like they got Caleb Johnson running. Caleb Johnson's stats, by the way,
Yes.
like they're incredible. This is how many yards he's rushed for. First game of the year, they only gave him 11 carries because they were playing Illinois State. He still ran for 119 yards. Then second game, 25 carries, 187 yards, 2 touchdowns. Third game, 25 carries, 173 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then this game, 21 carries, 206 yards, 3 touchdowns. Like,
I'm
my
not saying
God.
it's something they necessarily need to do. Very, very clearly, Caleb Johnson out here holding shit down. But like, I just want to imagine it.
I
Think about what could be.
I
It's a
love
very
that.
sensual Iowa.
Oh, Caleb, do you remember the 21st of September? Oh, that's right. You got FLOYD of Rosedale. Shout out to Heavens at Heavens FX. Had Kirk Ferentz and Phil Parker dancing to "Do You Remember" by Earth, Wind, and Fire. The 21st of September. It was great. I don't know how he made the video. Fantastic. And moving on to the next game, the beer battle, the beer brawl between the Raging Cajuns and the Tulane Green Wave.
Now, I'll be honest. All I saw of this game was the upside down logo.
Yes. So the Cajun Stadium, the press box on that side of the field is currently an active construction zone. And you know we love active construction zones here. We love this. And so when they have to film the game, they're on the other side of the field now. So it's just imagine instead of filming the game from the shady side that they do at the Pitt Stadium, they would be filming from the sunny side, which they're doing that at the Cajuns field. So the whole thing, the logo looked upside down the entire game, which is incredible.
It's very important that you know that Cajuns only do this when they're in distress. It's not funny.
Cajuns only do this when it's not spicy. The Cajuns only do this when you ask for mild at Popeyes. Which another name for mild at Popeyes is wrong, but yes. So, definitely here, Tulane at the Cajuns. This game was nuts. They went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Nobody could play defense against each other in the third quarter. It was just nothing but score after score after score after score. So Tulane gets a field goal to make this game 41-33. So the Cajuns get the ball back, and our own, I guess, Cajun correspondent who was at the game, also in our Discord, wanted to nominate Michael DeSormo for Clock Commander of the Week here. So there is 5 minutes and 52 seconds left in the fourth quarter. The Cajuns get the ball at the 25, pass incomplete, but it's an intentional grounding. So now it's 2nd and 18 at the Cajuns 17. Complete pass for 3 yards. They make it back to the Cajuns 20. It is now 3rd and 15 at the 20. There's 3rd and 15. They run the ball for 6 yards to make it 4th and 9 at the Cajuns 26. What do you think the Cajuns are going to do here now? There's like 4 minutes left in the game. 4 minutes and 9 seconds left. They're on their own 26-yard line. What do you think they do?
Perhaps one might punt.
Yes.
Down 41-33. You maybe punt. You got a little bit of time left. You got 2 timeouts, whatever. You maybe punt. No, the Cajuns go for this. It is 4th and 9. Incomplete pass. Incomplete pass for the Cajuns.
Whoops.
Whoops. So Tulane takes over on the Cajuns 26. They have a chance to put this away. So at this point, they run the ball for 1 yard. They get to the 25. Then they run the ball again for no gain. So now it's 2nd and 9 at the Cajuns 25. They call timeout. 3 minutes and 17 seconds left. Then the Green Wave completes a pass for 4 yards to the Cajuns 21. They take another timeout. So now it is 3 minutes and 9 seconds left in the game. You have no timeouts.
Jesus.
And Tulane is setting up for a field goal to make it a 10-point game. Now, Tulane misses the 39-yarder, which apparently you missed for the 39-yarder. Sorry, Nebraska, to bring that back up. They miss it. So they get away with one here. Clock commandering, I would say.
Except that they're out of timeouts.
Now they're out of timeouts, but it's 3 minutes and 9 seconds, and you need a touchdown and 2-point conversion. So
What
they
could
get
go
all the way
wrong?
down. They get all the way down to Tulane's 41. And it's 4th and something, incomplete pass. Game over. Tulane kneels it out. It's done. So it was kind of like, okay, do you want to go? I don't know if it's a combination of like using the timeouts and then going for it after a weird combo of plays on 3rd and 15, where you decide to run the ball on 3rd and 15 from your own 20-something. I don't know.
To me, this is just unwise timeout expenditure.
Okay. He almost got away with it, but
He did.
You know, Tulane hung on to win 41-33.
Next game up. I don't want to wait for my life to be over. No,
That was a bold key choice.
it was. It was a little high for me, a little pitchy, dog. SMU 66, TCU 42, only on the CW.
Oh yeah.
Important things here. First off, TCU talks so much shit about this being on the CW.
That's what you get for
Unfortunately.
dissing the
How
CW.
dare you diss the CW? How dare you, TCU?
And
Visible in every television in the country,
TCU.
as the CW so astutely pointed out.
TCU, you're made of initials. How dare you diss a network made of initials?
And
don't
even
do
better
that.
about this, in all
You gotta be
this
better.
in all this anger for the Iron Skillet, the second to last Iron Skillet game, the last one in SMU for the foreseeable future, and Sonny Dice gets his ass tossed for two unsportsmanlike. Oh,
Sonny Dykes.
And
Sonny
he's-
Dykes pulled this move like he was a baseball manager in the 5th inning, arguing balls and strikes because he got tossed in the 3rd quarter, right?
Yep.
It's just like, oh, this is bullshit. Blue, you've been calling it. Been calling it wrong.
I don't
That
lip
was
read
clearly a
super
strike,
well,
Blue.
but I'm pretty sure when you call the ref a motherfucker, it's gonna do that.
Yeah.
Interesting thing here, not the first coach tossed in FBS. That would be Scott Leffler at BG at Bowling Green. But I think he is the first P4 coach to get tossed.
Ooh.
So
he is.
That's
He
great.
is. Yes.
Scott
the-
Loeffler.
Not the most memorable tossing because I'm pretty sure Steve Adazio got tossed and then fired at Colorado State. But
yeah, that was his.
you know, I kind of respect just like the way that TCU was playing, I probably wouldn't want to stay around and coach them that much either. You know,
It's fair.
I think
it was again. It feels like your team is down. They're not playing good. Let me get tossed and fire the team up like he's a baseball manager. Like we're down 7-3 in the bottom of the 5th, and I need to fire up the guys, and that's what I feel like Sonny Dykes tried to pull here.
is that something that the team's gonna care about?
It's
you
not
think the team's
baseball.
gonna get fired? Like, oh no, like the refs got the coach. Like what?
I don't
I
know.
think if
that
the other
works in
team-
football.
Dad's mad.
coach,
We gotta
like-
do better because Dad's mad.
It's in baseball. Yeah, the guys get fired up because that's unwritten rules stuff. There's none of that in football. They're all written, I think.
But more than any of this, can we talk about how Rhett Lashley makes fucking eggs?
I mean, go ahead.
Look,
I mean,
look in the podcast chat.
I already
This
did.
morning, Rhett Lashley was like, had to try this guy out this morning with a cast iron skillet, not the skillet, but a skillet. Those are the worst looking fried eggs I have ever seen.
Okay,
Beth, you
so,
look so concerned.
I mean, Beth is allergic to this image, so
Yeah, I mean, this thing kills me, but it kills me in more ways than just the usual ways.
yeah.
So
There's
I have
too much white.
It feels like
is
there was a
there
photo
oil
shoot
in this
and
pan?
I
he
don't.
messed up. They made this is a clear photo shoot because if you look at the mug in the back, look at the SMU mug that says like Dallas.
If this is a photo shoot,
It
looks
is.
awful.
Do better eggs.
is.
Do
then.
better.
You got to do better.
Did you forget to heat your pan? Like,
Probably.
is
It
this?
looks
Or
like you
did we just
cracked a-
crack your eggs in the cold?
He
You
did.
cracked it into the pan. I can see that
did.
because we have like the weird dribbles on the
He
side.
did 3, and it was like, hey, 3 looks weird. Let's add a 4th one, but let's take the photo before the 4th one even gets cooked because the other ones would be cooked too much.
Friend of the program, Danger, argued that he probably fucked up the 4th yolk, pulled
Yes.
it out, and then recracked a 4th one. That's why
Yes.
there's so much white in there.
Yes.
God, yeah.
Yeah.
I have problems with this, Rhett.
Rhett Lashley, come on the podcast and tell us what happened here.
I've seen worse when it comes to cooking eggs, because one time I saw someone who was inebriated and trying to cook an egg on like a gas stove, just like trying to crack an egg into a pan and miss the pan and just crack it directly into the burner. So
Okay.
So here's my other hypothesis here. Is he a milk and eggs person?
Ooh.
Is that what's going on here?
I mean, I think you should put
No.
milk in your scrambles,
Yes.
Yeah,
but not in your sunny side ups or whatever this is.
I agree, but
Is this going to be a giant fucking over easy? I don't even know what he's doing here.
I don't know what's going on here.
I'm really bad at making fried eggs, and even
I
mine
like how
usually look better
SMU
than
won
this.
66-42, and we're just talking about the coach getting ejected, and then the SMU coach like, how do you cook your eggs?
I
Like,
mean,
welcome to the
honestly,
what are you
Sickos
doing?
Committee podcast.
The
Yeah,
only
welcome
other
to-
thing I have to say about this game is that I would like to specifically shout out the CW for implying heavily that TCU is the dancing frog from the old Warner Brothers
It was great.
cartoon.
It was,
And that
no.
actually bore out because they were on TV and they didn't do shit.
Woo! Michigan J Frog.
I mean, Michigan was also the last team that no, it was Georgia that beat the Frogs' asses last time they were in the championship.
Oh yeah.
Quickly, Ball State 434, Central Michigan 37. Interesting for one drive. Commish, what do you got?
I this was a quad box special. This was one that I had on after I replaced Princeton and Lehigh. I replaced it with Ball State at Central Michigan on the quad box. There was
Equal
a drive.
institutions.
There was a drive. This game was a delight. This game was so awesome, by the way. There was a drive that Ball State pulled off in the second half, I think. They went 11 plays, 26 yards in 6 minutes and 54 seconds, longer than any drive in the James Madison and North Carolina game. And they punted. Let me just give you the drives on the last bit of this game here real quick. Central Michigan punts. Then from that point, Ball State is down 30-27. Ball State goes 97 yards in 5 plays in a minute 6 in the last 2 minutes of the game. Scores a touchdown, takes the lead, right? That's great. Central Michigan gets the ball back. 5 plays, 75 yards, 37 seconds. Central Michigan takes the lead back. Ball State gets the ball back with less, like 20 seconds left in the game. I'm sorry, 16 seconds left in the game. They go incomplete, crazy lateral, lose 19 yards. Central Michigan chips, win 37-34. Just a great game.
We had Western Kentucky beating Toledo. Toledo, who was sort of, after beating Michigan State last week, that felt like
Mississippi State.
Mississippi State. Thank you.
It's about adversity.
Bill C gave us a little summary of what happened here in the final minute of Toledo, Western Kentucky. 1, Toledo throws an interception to all but clinch the 26-21 Western Kentucky win. Next play, Western Kentucky's quarterback fumbles. 3, Toledo returns it for a TD, but the play had been blown dead. Toledo gets it at the recovery spot. 4, Toledo throws an interception to clinch a 26-21 Western Kentucky win.
So I'm going to give you a little bit more detail here, right?
Oh, dear God.
So Toledo throws an interception to all but clinch the win. Western Kentucky gets the ball back with 37 seconds left in the game. Toledo has all 3 of their timeouts. They have all 3. All 3. So Western Kentucky can't just kneel the game. If they do 3 kneels and then punt, basically Toledo gets the ball back with no timeouts, but essentially kind of on the other side of the field. The person that intercepted the ball for Western Kentucky and Toledo to clinch the game was was the same person that clinched the game again. So he got 2 interceptions in the last minute of the game. So Toledo gets this fumble, but they didn't realize it was a fumble. And Toledo probably should have taken this for a fumble return touchdown. And our Toledo fans in the Discord were just distraught after this. This should have been a scoop and score. And they should have took the lead 27-26 at least, and then probably went for 2 from there. But then Toledo gets the ball and then throws the interception to like the same Western Kentucky cornerback in this time frame, which is just incredible because the Western Kentucky team, the social media team was like, and then he seals it again. You see back-to-back tweets about Western Kentucky, same quarterback, twice stealing the game. So I guess ball don't lie, I would say. What a great game, though.
USC, welcome to the Big Ten. Michigan 27, USC 24, with Michigan winning this with 32 yards of passing.
Holy shit, Michigan's back on their bullshit.
Oh, it's so good.
They're back to the 2020 Sickos national champions right here. They are, look, I didn't think that their Sickos ranking in the preseason poll was earned because I felt like it was mostly Connor Stallion stuff. But now Michigan, this is totally earned. Welcome to the committee. You're back, baby.
Alex Orji throws 7 for 12 for 32 yards. Alex Orji runs on 13 carries, 43 yards.
It's enough yards.
That's enough yards.
That is balance right there.
No QB, no problem. They don't have to throw the ball to anyone. Just get it to someone else and let them run.
Ain't got to do it.
Our beloved Northern Illinois Huskies, Titan killers that they are. You just lost to Commish.
Pete LemBUFFALO.
Pete LemBUFFALO. That's right.
This graphic is hilarious.
This is great.
Oh, yeah.
You just lost to Pete LemBUFFALO. Because guess what I'm going to tell you about this game? And I'm going to talk to you about Pete LemBUFFALO, baby. That's right. You just lost to a team that went 2 for 15 on 3rd down. You just lost to a team that had 9 first downs. You lost to a team that only had 170 yards passing. You lost to a team that ran the ball 37 times for 77 yards and turned the ball over once on a fumble, and you lost to them in OT after you upset Notre Dame. That's right. You just lost to Pete LemBUFFALO, baby.
Jesus. I'm just going to draw a chalk outline around App State at this point.
Yeah.
South Alabama 48, App State 14. I'm glad that the kids at this game were having fun and sliding down the mud, and Harry Lyles Jr., our good friend, was sliding down the mud with him, and he apparently got a nice shower change in the ref showers.
Yeah, he got the ref showers. It was great. He had the App State overalls. It was great.
I saw people getting knocked out in the mudslide.
I'm just going to say the App State team did not want to tackle Fluff Bothwell.
What
His
a
name
name.
is Fluff, baby.
All name team candidate right there.
Fluff.
Oh, yeah.
They were talking about fluffernutters.
I mean,
fucking George Lucas ass name.
I need you guys to like bookmark that name because like when the time comes to get a new podcat, boy,
Fluff.
I'm leaning hard.
Fluff Bothwell,
Fluff
yeah.
Bothwell. That is real.
The
That is
second,
real.
you know, because it's
Fluff
an homage.
Bothwell Jr.
Pitt Girl, how do you feel about App State being down so bad?
I don't just it's a little sad. I don't like it. I like having good mountaineers out there in the universe. And we don't got those right now.
Whoa! Hey, you were talking. You got to talk them up again, Pitt Girl.
No. There's a distinction. I am not talking about West Virginia's football team being good. I am talking about App State as the canonically good Mountaineers.
Okay.
Colorado State 27.
I feel worse.
Somehow.
This Pitt
Colorado
WVU
State
stuff.
27. UTEP 17. Our boy Braden Fowler Nicolosi 14 for 22, 132 with 1 TD, 1 int. I have not checked the Detmer numbers, but I feel like they're going to do well.
It's not enough yardage, I think, which is strange because I feel like UTEP put up a good fight, but they just couldn't consistently pick up enough their downs here. Mike Oley Jr. did call this game on TruTV, which is great. Colorado State 2-2. I don't know. UTEP, it's gonna take some time because there's gonna be a rebuild.
This is a rebuild. This is a rebuild year for UTEP. It's fine.
Like when UTEP bottoms out and rebuilds, they bottom out and rebuild.
Oh yeah, no,
like there is not like, hey, it's Michigan, we're kind of rebuilding, but we still win games with 32 passing yards.
1-11, 2-10. Like it's gonna be bad.
Yeah, it's rough.
FA UConn. Tom Herman. Tom Herman, you are short for this. You are short for this world at FAU, my friend. UConn 48, FAU 14. Jesus.
UConn.
Fine.
You got your ass beat on a former in a former airplane landing area in a former airport.
Mhm.
That's right.
With the tower there to see it.
Got your ass plucked.
Look, UConn, the all new FA UConn. The UConn ran over FAU, and with 424 rushing yards, they set a school record.
I like this. I like this really
FBS
running
level.
UConn like team. This is fun.
It's a whole team of sled dogs. We got it.
The FA UConn, only $1,500 down with special financing.
Jacksonville State finally had their get right game, 44-7 over Southern Miss.
Oh, they got right. But, Rich Rod, Southern Miss, I'm worried about you. You're probably hanging out with ULM, and that's probably not good for Will Hall.
Hey, Beth. West Virginia 32, Kansas 28. After the rain delay, it got better.
So it did. I want to share a little bit of my experience with puddles this weekend. I was unable to go to this game. So I texted him on Saturday morning and said, hey, I'm out today. I'm just not feeling up to it. Have a great time. The message that I got from him was, get better, pal. Can I have your ticket?
There you go. Hell yeah.
That's right.
And then
Puddles.
I checked.
I like how Puddles is asking if he can have your ticket when you have already established that you're not going to use it, and also Puddles is the source of the season.
Yeah, like he has the ticket. It is in his possession. Like, what am I going to say? Like, no. So I got the text afterward. Let's see. As you know, we need this win badly. Wow, a replay of the Pitt game. Only we were Pitt! ! And then he said that he was very proud of himself because after our earlier weather delay, he figured out that he could go back to my brother's apartment and stay dry there instead of having to sort of huddle under the stands for 2 hours. So, but yeah, after the rain delay, this was suddenly a completely different game. This is still a wildly underwhelming and frustrating team, but we managed to do the thing. I didn't actually see us do the thing because we lost power. But I heard about it.
Sounds good.
Texas Tech 30, Arizona State 22. Then we go to Virginia proper, UVA 43, Coastal Carolina 24 on the
I was
surf.
going to give a shout out to Minecraft Man.
Oh yes, sorry.
Cam Scattaboo. Texas Tech again in Arizona State. It just great game. A lot of fun. That's high quality Big 12 football right there. Good stuff. Good win for Texas Tech.
In the Virginia win, Anthony Calandrea went for 13 for 20, 131 yards, 2 TDs. We got to bump those numbers up, kiddo.
I'm just going to say this, that I had this game on in the quad box, but I didn't have the sound on it. But every time Virginia lined up for a field goal, there was just like 3 giant chickens looking at me.
Oh, the giant chicken graphic. It's so good.
It was so good. It was so good, Coastal. I love that so much. But the funny thing is that the Virginia kicker didn't miss. Was just drilling it at the chickens. Like, screw you, chickens. I'm kicking the ball right at your face.
Sam Houston 31, New Mexico State 11. This is going to be a rebuild job at New Mexico State. This is not the year. In fact, for UTEP getting a win this year, this might be their thing. We also have the game coming up this next week is the Battle of I-25 / Rio Grande rivalry.
Mhm.
So this is going to be a good, important one for both those teams. Sam Houston looking like they might be bowl eligible this year, which is a wild statement and super excited for them. We're getting there. They're 3-1 after this one.
Yeah,
Rutgers.
they
Go
got
ahead.
a shot. They
Rutgers
got a shot.
26, Virginia Tech 23. Virginia Tech fans, not where you want to be. Rutgers
No.
fans, very happy where you are right now.
That's right.
Have
Commish,
you talked to your kids about undefeated Rutgers?
I
mean-
told you earlier. Oh, I'm sorry.
Sure.
That's my kid's cousin's name.
Truly, I think my favorite thing about all of this is the listening to the SET hurry up this morning and having, I think, Godfrey say that Rutgers is where Virginia Tech should want to be.
Oh,
What?
That's
Yeah.
so mean.
so mean.
It's so mean.
But where's the lie?
No, I know. That's why it's mean.
Commish, can you describe the safety from this game?
This is the greatest safety known to man. And I can't stop watching the safety.
Yeah.
This
Kicks it behind him.
it wasn't a kick, but
The ball just disappears into space.
it wasn't even his fault. It wasn't the quarterback's fault either. It wasn't Drone's fault. But it was just an incredible coincidence of all the elements of the nature of the Sickos committee just coming together. You had earth, wind, and fire on the 21st of September. Do you remember this safety in Blacksburg? Because he drops back to pass, and then a lineman steps on his ankle. The lineman doesn't remember the quarterback is there. And then Drones grabs his ankle, seemingly at the same time, and he goes, "Buddy, turns around, flings the ball through the field goal post. It's good. It's 3. The safety should count for 3 points instead of 2.
The cheerleaders turn around.
And at the same time, the cheerleaders all turn like they just saw the bouquet being tossed. And
Like
we need
over
to
their
go
heads.
get that.
Oh, it's so
Because I got to make my man propose to me after Rutgers got a safety. It was so delightful. It was so good. And don't get me wrong, Virginia Tech tied the game like 23-23, but Rutgers still came back and got the field goal to chop down the Hokies. Amazing.
Rutgers tried to give this one away. They let Virginia Tech come storming back where they had no right to.
They did.
But this game, the final score of 26-23 is not indicative of how close this game actually was. Rutgers was the better team for most of this. If we go to LSU, we have UCLA 17, LSU 34. This game was tied at the half.
There was a moment when I saw it tied at the half and they could not stop Chase Garbers in UCLA. And I was like, holy shit, Brian Kelly's getting fired. It's like he is going to be fired after this game if UCLA wins this game. I don't know what happened at halftime, but LSU got it together and they shut down
I assume
UCLA.
he screamed.
Probably on the Brian Kelly scale.
He was aubergine.
Aubergine.
This was le aubergine.
Aubergine.
Le aubergine.
Oh, sorry. But I'm gonna say one thing here. I'm gonna complain to ESPN. In September, do not give LSU any day games at all. The temperature is going to be 90 to 95. The humidity is going to be 100%. And field level on the game in that side of the stands, they had like probably about 80, 90 people that got treated for dehydration. I'm going to say that in Cajun. But they had them treated for that. Don't do that. Give them all night games, ESPN. It doesn't matter who they're playing. Give them all night games. It's too hot. It is too hot. It is too humid. Just give them all night games. Just do it. Just do it. Also, shout out to Marty McGee that had the best time tailgating for the LSU UCLA game. They got some alligator sauce piquant before they had to fly to another game, which I'm jealous. That shit looked delicious.
Purdue 21, Oregon State 38. This is only interesting in that we found out what happens when CW games go over because the fucking Iron Skillet game went on for 40 hours. It goes on to a channel called News Nation.
That's right.
Sounds legit.
Breaking. Corvallis Love here with a breaking news update. Oh yeah, we're playing it. Oh yeah, we're talking about the Boilermakers, baby. Oh, we on News Nation.
Yeah, News Nation is what used to be like WGN America.
Oh, the Superstation?
So it's not, so it's not technically the first time sports have been broadcast on like that specific thing, but they rebranded it to be a 24-hour news channel for some reason a couple years ago. So that's what it is now.
Oh, well, not great. Okay.
Great. Okay. Well, everyone, get your News Nation subscriptions in now.
News and Beeves.
Beeves Nation.
Nope. Gonna leave it there.
Corvallis Love.
Yeah, I think Jordan. I think you and I are thinking the same thing.
BYU 38.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Kansas State 9. Is 4-0 BYU real?
I don't think so. This seems like this Provo night game where all the kids are just hyped up on caffeine. They allowed them to have
caffeine and cougar tails.
Caffeine and cougar tails. They were
They
drinking.
got to have their 1/4 of a Diet Coke.
They were drinking those dirty sodas that they had out there, like just sodas with caffeine and different syrup flavors in them, and they just went wild. K-State. This was the no good, terrible, very bad day in Provo. It went from, hey, it's 6-3, you're down, and then you play conservative, you fumble, then you play conservative again, and they get the ball back. Instead of being 6-3 at halftime, it's 17-6. You know? What are you doing, K-State? And then, guess what? After the half, it doesn't stop. Then it's 24-6. And then the most incredible punt return where the guy like fumbled it and then ran across the entire field lengthwise.
That was amazing.
90 yards, gets a touchdown. Then a BYU player like punches him on his chest, like, "Yeah, you're doing great. We love you. This is so hype." And then he throws up immediately after that. Shout out to the K-State fan. He is now going to have to live Moss.
Yeah, the BYU social media team went heavy into the Twitter guy who said he'd put a burrito up his ass thing.
Twitter guys, stop suggesting that you'll put things up your ass.
I mean, at least I only just said I'd put it on my butt if that happened. But yeah.
No.
Tulsa 23.
Save that for your OnlyFans, Twitter guys.
Yeah.
Tulsa 23, La Tech 20 in overtime. North Texas 44, Wyoming 17. Mean Green was mean as hell this week. Wyoming not good. North Texas, like, creeping up on bowl eligibility already with 3-1, which is impressive.
Yeah. They may be feisty.
Cincinnati 34, Houston 0. I don't fucking know what's going on with Houston.
Houston's bad, and
Whatever.
they just dragged Oklahoma into the ditch with them. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it.
Also, a very bad weekend for teams from Houston. Rice 14, Army 37. Army ran all over them and then passed for 100 yards on them too.
Oh, that's so many.
Like, we just do the thing where they'll just like blow the top off every once in a while. Yeah.
Army had the longest time of possession scoring drive of the week. 17 plays, 90 yards, 10 minutes and 52 seconds.
Oh God, just the
collaborating Owls.
Kentucky 41, Ohio 6, Iowa State 52, Arkansas State 7, Miami 50, South Florida 15. This game was interesting for about like that long before Miami just took it out.
Yep.
Northwestern 5, Washington 24.
5.
But not
I love the box score because it was 17-2 at halftime.
But the crazy thing here is that folks kept going, is this a scoregami? It's not, because 5 points used to be what a touchdown was.
Yeah.
So when you go back far enough,
sometimes.
right. So like the 5s are all covered in college sports. Now really the only thing that can happen is you need the big numbers. Like 70-50 was scoregami. And I think last week it was like 57-2 was scoregami.
59-2, yes.
59-2, thank you.
Shout out to Morehead State and
Hey guys, Temple won a goddamn football game.
Temple's not on
Temple-
0-12 watch
Temple
anymore.
45, Utah State 29 in Philly at the link.
Offensive explosion from Temple here. Also, their kicker's really good.
Yeah,
And he now
64
holds the
yarder.
record. Yeah, he now holds the record for the link, including the NFL, because it was a really, really long kick to go into halftime.
64-yard boot. I love this game because first quarter, no scores. Second quarter, 21-17, Utah State at halftime. Third quarter, no scores, except one Temple touchdown to take the lead, 24-21. We're like, oh, is Temple going to do this? Then they dropped the hammer, 21 points in the fourth to win 45-29. Utah State's 1-3. Temple is now 1-3. So all you podcasts that we're talking about 0-12, watch. We don't give a hoot anymore. Go Temple.
I'm trying to make the hoot boot happen for their kicker.
Ooh, I like that.
Ooh, I like that too.
Hoot boot. Nice.
The hoot boot.
Louisville 31, Georgia Tech 19. Y'all, Georgia Tech is 3-2. Louisville is 3-0. They've only played 3 games so far, and Georgia Tech's already in their 5th.
Sure.
Kent State cashed Penn State's check 56-0.
They survived the Ride to Hell tour, and by that I mean went 0-4 and are on 0-12 watch.
I think Penn State put up like 719 yards,
They
718
were playing
yards.
with, I mean, Penn State was playing with their food for a while, but
You know, it's funny. Like Penn State only scored 56 points,
Well,
and
do you know why?
Yeah.
This had a running clock.
it did.
yeah.
Penn State was like, okay, fine.
Tennessee
Aw.
refused the running clock. Kent State refused.
I
the
had
running
heard
clock
that Kent
Tennessee.
State declined it against Tennessee. I
They
guess
did.
they learned
They
their
did.
lesson the
It
last
was like,
time. But
okay.
that's a little disappointing.
Yeah.
I liked that they died like men.
with your shielder on it.
Yeah.
Navy 56, Memphis 44.
Sure.
Woo! It's all Navy, baby, and they stormed the field. Shout out to the midshipmen storming the field.
I will just point out every team that beat Florida State has then like had a letdown game.
Yep.
Like it's like immediately like, oh wow, they beat Florida State. They must be good. And like Georgia Tech lost to Syracuse.
Memphis lost to Navy.
Yeah, Memphis is in the Navy here. I forget who Boston College lost to Mizzou. That's a respectable loss, but it's still a loss.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that just means that Florida State's communicable.
Notre Dame 28, Miami of Ohio 3. This Notre Dame played with their food a bit here. It wasn't ever in question really, but after the Northern Illinois game, I feel like they should have put the hammer down a little harder here. Miami of Ohio is 0-3 at this point, but they're not in MAC play yet. Give them some time. They're going to be fine. Duke 45, Mitsu 17. Manny Diaz is 4-0 at Duke.
That's
in
right.
some really weird ass ways.
Ew.
4-0, Manny Diaz. I just want to give you the summary of the Middle Tennessee first quarter. 66-yard touchdown run. Fumble at their own 14-yard line. Field goal. Fumble at their own 15-yard line. Fumble at their own 18-yard line. Duke was leading 28-10 after the first quarter.
Yep. And then
They
after
won
that,
45-17.
yeah, just stalled out. We are way over time, folks, so I'm going to skip some of this here.
Go for it.
I think we do have to talk about Baylor, Colorado, at least
Yeah.
very briefly.
We have to, right? Because this is, Beth, what do you say about this one?
So this is one of those classic games for me where it's like the entire narrative of this game flips on a single play.
Yep.
Because if Shedeur Sanders' extremely ill-advised throw that leads to a touchdown at the end of this game leads to anything else, we are talking about like, you know, is Deion finished? Is the Colorado experiment dead? Everything else. Instead, I wake up the next morning and I'm reading articles in The Athletic saying, Colorado's halfway to bowl eligibility. Here we go.
Man, I was rooting so hard for them to find something on that final play of the game to extend the game.
Yeah, me too. Because
Like,
it had
just-
gotten fun.
More than any other like replay review, I'm just like, man, can they find some way to be like, maybe it's a touchdown, maybe it's like a fumble but they keep the ball. Like, man,
And
I
then
don't
they
know.
have to figure out how to get the students all to go back where they came from. Yes.
Yes. Rush the field, check the clock first.
Well, they rushed the field because it was over, and I was like, wait, it's an official review, so they didn't declare it over. But then it turned out, that was a clear fumble. It was over. It's done. So I'm gonna go speed mode here. I'm gonna go really fast, and I'm sorry if we didn't get to talk about your game too much in detail. Boston College won the Red Bandana game for Wales at 23-19 over Michigan State. Utah, again, Cam Rising, he has not risen yet. But Utah wins 21-19 on Oklahoma State.
Proofing.
Vandy, look, Vandy, honestly, you probably should have not tried to settle for a field goal here. They lose to Mizzou. This is the classic Mizzou, like, we're going to let you, like, hang around, and they're not 100% firing on all cylinders, and Vandy had a shot to take it away, and they just couldn't pull it off. Fresno takes care of business against New Mexico. East Carolina at whatever, there was a giant weather delay, and so this game was kind of going around the Hawaii test. Shout out to the punter for South Carolina as they beat Akron. He had a 75-yard punt. Kai Kroger. South Carolina handles business with Akron. Bowling Green, again, we talked about it a little bit. They hung with Texas A&M. They kind of almost pulled it away. ULM at Texas. I didn't have to get a tattoo on my ass. I do want to let you know that I had a couple of positives from this game. We didn't get shut out. Although the field goal attempt before the first half was very comedic. They had a 45-yard field goal attempt, and it was like a bad snap. Laces in. I don't even know how they got it down, and it got blocked, whatever. I'm glad it wasn't returned for a touchdown. And we could always say that we intercepted Arch Manning twice. So Ole Miss handles business at Georgia Southern. Ohio State beats Marshall. Tudor sandwich of our own continues, apparently. We're trying to do that there. Clemson handles NC State. Like, they just blow NC State out. That game, final 56-35, nothing. Indiana, look out for the Hoosiers. You were all in danger of 9 Indiana. Biff Poggi, shout out to that look or whatever. I have no idea. Like, you had...
It sure is a look, Biff.
That is a look,
Biff. It is an awful lot.
That is the look, Beth. We're going to break down Tennessee at Oklahoma in full here. No, we're not. Sorry. Go to another podcast. Shout out to Monmouth at FIU. Monmouth beats FIU. FIU is going in for the game-winning, like, essentially game-winning touchdown, but Monmouth gets there on the 1 and 2 yard line, and they strip the FIU player and recover the fumble to seal the victory. Shout out to the coach, Kevin Callahan, that has been at Monmouth forever, for 32 years, since 1993, before Pitt Girl was born, before Arthur was born. The longest tenured division coach by 6 years, first win over an FBS team in program history, upsetting FIU at Pitbull Stadium. Just amazing. Portland State, no touchdowns for Ashton Jeanty. He did have a lot of rushing yards, but they shut him down. Much love to Hawaii again for showing love for the Hawaii test. Central Connecticut State gave UMass a lot of shit. They did. But I had this one on the quad box, and there was something that popped up as a commercial, and it was just like, UMass Weddings. I
mean, UMass's campus is pretty.
And then
I would
look,
consider
there was decorations. It was great. There's a tower in the background. I was like, this is great.
I've been to Amherst for a wedding before.
Are you more married if you get UMass married? Or is that less married than usual?
I don't know. It only takes a minute, man.
Okay.
Continue on. UTSA beats Houston Christian.
Man, can we just cut it there?
But I want to give a shout out. We're not going to do Clock Commander of the Week, but okay, whatever. We'll just give it to Michael DeSormo.
Is that it then?
Pitt's 4-0. I just want to say that.
One more
Pitt's
thing.
4-0.
Let's just cut it here. Troy beats FAMU. Troy is 8-24 on coin tosses since 2022. They are 0-4 this year. They lost the coin toss again. Incredible. The Troy Trojans do not get along with heads or tails.
No, that's not good enough to end on.
No?
Try again.
Okay.
Try again.
UMass Weddings. It only takes a minute, man.
It's just as good as the second time.
It is. It's nice.